Aaron Hale was a quiet man who worked as a space engineer on a small human colony far from the busy center of the galaxy. He liked peaceful days where he could repair engines and upgrade old machines. Most people around him thought he lived a simple life, but Aaron carried memories of many great journeys. Among those memories stood one name above all others: Taran, his closest alien friend from the gentle Lumary species. The day everything changed started like a normal morning. Aaron was checking damaged solar plates when a bright device inside his pocket began to glow with soft blue light. He froze because he knew that signal well. It was used only by Taran. Aaron rushed into his workshop and placed the device on a table. The blue glow stretched into the air and formed a hologram shaped like Taran. Aaron felt his chest grow tight when he saw his friend. Taran looked weaker than before. His colors were dim and his breathing was slow. Taran spoke with calm voice. He told Aaron that his time was ending. He had been fighting an ancient Lumary sickness for many seasons. The Lumary healers had tried their best, but nothing could stop the illness. Taran explained that he had accepted his fate with peace. He said that every life ends, but friendship is something that travels beyond the last moment. Aaron listened in silence. His hands were shaking. Taran continued speaking. He revealed something that left Aaron shocked. Taran said that he had named Aaron as the heir of his entire estate. Every piece of his property, every record of his research, his home, his knowledge, everything was now in Aaron's care. Taran said he trusted no one more than his human friend. Then Taran spoke of something even more serious. He asked Aaron to look after Lysera. She was Taran's wife and a respected historian in Lumary culture. Taran made it very clear that this was not ownership but a responsibility to protect and guide. Lysera was surrounded by political tension inside Lumary society. Taran feared she might face pressure from rivals after his passing. Aaron felt confused and surprised. He was an engineer, not a diplomat, not a leader, but Taran believed in him with full confidence. The hologram flickered for a moment. Taran smiled gently and said that humans had a special strength, a mix of courage and loyalty that made them powerful allies. He believed Aaron could help the Lumary people in ways they could not predict. Taran said that he hoped to meet his friend again someday beyond the stars. The hologram slowly faded until there was nothing but a soft blue glow on the table. Aaron stood still for a long time. The room felt silent. He thought about all the moments he and Taran had shared, their long talks about technology, their missions to repair old star stations, their nights looking at strange nebula shapes. Taran had been more than a friend. He had been a part of Aaron's journey. When the shock started to fade, Aaron knew he had to act. He packed his tools and prepared his small ship. He informed the colony that he would be away for a long trip. Some old friend tried to ask questions, but Aaron kept his focus on the path ahead. He felt a heavy responsibility resting on his shoulders, not because of the fortune or the estate, but because of the trust Taran had placed in him. The flight to the Lumary homeworld would take several days. During the journey, Aaron looked through old messages and memories shared between him and Taran. He played recordings of their conversations. He studied Lumary customs. He practiced their greetings so he could show respect during the memorial. Every hour that passed made him feel the reality of Taran's absence with greater weight. Outside the window of his ship, the stars stretched in long lines as the vessel traveled through light-speed corridors. Aaron watched them with quiet thoughts. He wondered what he would say when he met Lysera. He wondered how Lumary society would react to a human receiving such an important legacy. He wondered if he was strong enough for what lay ahead. When his ship finally approached the Lumary homeworld, the view took his breath away. The planet shone with gentle colors. Blue oceans, golden forests, floating crystal structures glowing like small suns. Aaron felt a sense of awe. He remembered how Taran used to describe his home with deep pride. Seeing it with his own eyes made him feel a mix of sadness and respect. The landing station guided his ship into a peaceful harbor made of smooth silver metal. Lumary caretakers greeted him with graceful movements. Their voices were soft like singing wind. They already knew who Aaron was because Taran had left clear instruction for his arrival. They spoke kindly and told him that Lysera was waiting for him in the central hall where Taran's memorial had been prepared. Aaron walked through long crystal corridors. The air was warm and filled with gentle light. He could see out everywhere, symbols of Lumary history and stories carved into walls. Each step made him feel the weight of his responsibility grow stronger. He felt like he was walking through the heart of a culture that trusted him deeply. When he reached the central hall, he saw a tall figure standing at the center, Lysira. Her presence was calm and filled with dignity. Her colors were soft and her eyes carried a quiet sadness. When she saw Eren, she bowed her head with respect. Eren bowed back. For a moment they simply stood there in silence, a shared silence born from loss. Lysira spoke first. She said she was grateful that Eren had come. She said Taran had always believed Eren would honor his last wish with full heart. She thanked him for accepting the responsibility in such a difficult moment. Her words were steady but gentle. Eren finally felt a bit of peace as he listened. He realized that he was not alone. Lysira would walk this path with him. This was the beginning of a journey neither of them had planned. A journey shaped by friendship, loss, trust, and the hope that something good could rise from the end of a life well lived. Eren Hale spent the first night on the Lumary homeworld in a small guest chamber prepared for him near the central hall. The room was simple but elegant, with soft light panels that glowed like distant stars. He could hear faint music from outside, Lumary melodies that seemed to float in the air. Despite the beauty, his mind kept returning to Taran. The memory of his friend's last words felt both comforting and heavy. Early the next morning, Eren met with Lysira in the hall again. She had dressed in the traditional Lumary attire, a flowing garment of soft silver and pale blue, signifying her role as a historian. Her presence felt calm and strong at the same time. She guided Eren through the corridors of Taran's estate, explaining the history of the homeworld and the family's legacy. The Lumary have always valued knowledge above wealth, she said. Our people preserve records of star systems, of cultures, and of technology that others might forget. Taran believed that humans, with their creativity and courage, could help us use this knowledge in ways we have not imagined. Eren listened carefully. He was beginning to understand that Taran's fortune was not money. It was trust, knowledge, and responsibility. His mind raced with questions. How much did Taran really expect from him? Could a human even understand the Lumary ways well enough to carry their legacy forward? Lysira took Eren to a library larger than any he had seen. It stretched across multiple levels, filled with holographic records and crystal data containers. The light reflected off the surfaces, creating a soft rainbow effect in the room. Lysira gestured for Eren to look at a large map projected in the center. This map shows the forgotten colonies our people once guided, she said. Many systems were abandoned when conflicts with the core thing forced us to retreat. Taran hoped someone could restore these connections, someone who was not limited by the old ways. That is why he chose you. Eren stared at the map. Hundreds of dots marked planets across the galaxy, most abandoned for centuries. The task seemed impossible, yet he felt a spark of excitement. Taran had believed in him. If he could honor that trust, it would mean more than anything. Their discussion was interrupted by a soft chime. A Lumary messenger arrived to deliver news. Political observers from neighboring systems had noticed the arrival of a human at the estate. Some were curious. Some were suspicious. Eren realized that the responsibilities Taran left were more complicated than he imagined. This was not just about managing an estate. It was about diplomacy, history, and the future of many worlds. Lysira smiled gently at him. "Do not be afraid," she said. "We will face these challenges together." Taran believed that humans and Lumary could learn from each other. That is why he left you here. You are not alone. Eren felt a weight lift from his shoulders. Lysira's words reminded him that Taran had not simply given him a task. He had given him guidance and support. For the first time, Eren felt ready to begin. They spent the next hours preparing for the journey ahead. The first step was to visit Taran's personal archives located deep underground. Access to these archives required a special key, known only to Taran's chosen heir. Lysira explained that many of the secrets inside were powerful but delicate. They could reshape industries, restore lost colonies, and even alter the balance of political power in the galaxy. Eren followed Lysira down a series of smooth, glowing tunnels. The air smelled faintly of minerals and flowers, a natural fragrance enhanced by the Lumary design. Eren felt both nervous and excited. He had explored star stations and abandoned colonies before, but this felt different. He was walking into the heart of an alien legacy, guided by someone who had lived it for decades. Finally, they reached a large door embedded with crystals. Lysira handed Eren a small device. "This is Tarin's key," she said. "Only you can activate it." Aaron placed the device against the door. A soft hum filled the air. The crystals glowed brighter, and the door slid open silently. Inside, the room was filled with artifacts, data crystals, and star charts. Aaron realized that this room was a treasure of knowledge. Each crystal contained histories, technologies, and maps that no human had ever seen before. Lysera guided him to a central console. "This is where Tarin left messages for you," she said. He knew the journey would be difficult. He recorded guidance for every step. Aaron activated the first hologram. Tarin's face appeared, smiling softly. "Aaron," Tarin said, "if you are seeing this, it means you have arrived safely. I trust you to protect Lysera, learn from our history, and guide what is possible. Remember, it is not power that makes one strong. It is a courage to do what is right, even when others doubt you. You are ready for this. I believe in you." Aaron felt tears in his eyes. He had always known Tarin trusted him, but hearing the words directly was overwhelming. Lysera placed a hand on his shoulder. "He always believed humans could carry hope across the stars," she said. "And now, you will show us how." As they studied the archives, Aaron realized how much work awaited him. Restoring the old Lumary network would require technical skill, diplomacy, and courage. It would require traveling to forgotten colonies, reactivating systems, and convincing alien civilizations to trust a human. It felt impossible, but Aaron felt alive in a way he had never felt before. Days passed as they prepared for the journey. Lysera taught him Lumary customs, language nuances, and political protocols. Aaron learned quickly. The Lumary were patient teachers, but they also expected respect and precision. He practiced every greeting, every movement, every word. He knew that representing Tarin and their shared friendship required him to do his best. Finally, the day came to board Tarin's personal starship. The vessel was unlike any Aaron had seen before. It was built from Lumary crystals and advanced alloys. Its engines glowed softly, capable of traveling great distances with speed and efficiency. Lysera led him aboard. "This ship will take us to the first colony," she said. "The path is long, and the galaxy is watching. Are you ready?" Aaron nodded, feeling a mixture of fear and excitement. He was ready to begin the journey his friend had entrusted to him. He was ready to honor Tarin, protect Lysera, and explore the galaxy in a way humans had never done before. As the ship lifted from the surface, Aaron looked back at the Lumary homeworld. It glowed softly under the sun. He felt hope, he felt determination, and he felt the presence of a friend who had believed in him until the very end. The journey to the first lost colony had begun, and nothing would ever be the same again. Aaron Hale and Lysera settled into Tarin's starship after leaving the Lumary homeworld. The vessel was quiet and smooth, its crystal hull glowing softly as it sliced through the darkness of space. Aaron spent hours exploring the ship, marveling at its designs. Every control panel seemed alive, responding to thought and touch. He could feel the care Tarin had put into every detail, not for show but to protect knowledge that had been passed down for generations. Lysera moved among the controls with ease, explaining systems Aaron had never seen before. "These engines use crystal energy to travel long distances without fuel," she said. "They are efficient, silent, and almost impossible to detect. Tarin believed that speed and discretion would be necessary for the first part of your mission." Aaron listened carefully. Every lesson brought him closer to understanding the responsibility Tarin had left behind. This was not a simple inheritance. It was a legacy, a trust placed in a human to carry forward the hopes of an entire civilization. The thought made Aaron both proud and nervous. The first stop on their journey was an abandoned Lumary outpost on a distant planet. The map Tarin had left showed the location clearly. When they approached the planet, Aaron noticed that the surface was scarred and barren. Crystalline towers that once reached high into the sky were broken and covered in dust. It was quiet, almost as if the planet itself was holding its breath. Lysera guided Aaron to the central hub of the outpost. "This is where Tarin recorded his first instructions for the colonies," she said. Many of these outposts were abandoned because of the Korthing threat, but Tarin believed that they could be reactivated. "You will learn why humans are part of this plan." Aaron activated the hub. Holographic images appeared, showing bustling colonies from centuries ago. Lumary engineers worked side by side with humans and other species, creating systems that shared knowledge and resources. Aaron could see the potential of Taran's vision. These colonies had once formed a network of peace and learning. Now they were silent, waiting for someone to restore them. As he studied the holograms, Aaron discovered something unexpected. Hidden in Taran's notes were references to advanced technology that humans had never seen before. Devices that could store massive amounts of information, energy shields for planets, and crystal engines far beyond what any human starship could achieve. He realized that Taran's fortune was more than just wealth or property. It was a treasure of knowledge, a key to shaping the future of many worlds. Lysira noticed a change in Aaron's expression. Taran trusted you with this because he believed you could use it wisely, she said. Knowledge alone is not enough. You must combine it with courage, compassion, and creativity. That is why he chose a human. Aaron felt the truth of her words. Humans were not the most powerful species, but they had qualities that others often lacked: adaptability, imagination, and determination. Taran had seen those qualities in him, and now he had to live up to that trust. Their exploration of the outpost was interrupted by a faint signal. Aaron recognized it immediately. It was a Core-Thing probe, scanning the system. The Core-Thing were a rival species, known for their strict control and suspicion of others. Aaron felt a chill. He realized that the reactivation of Lumary colonies might attract their attention, and he would need to be careful. Lysira guided the ship to a hidden communication relay. We cannot avoid the Core-Thing forever, she said. But Taran designed this network to be discreet. If we follow his instructions, we can restore the colonies without attracting too much attention. Still, we must remain vigilant. Aaron nodded, feeling both fear and determination. He knew that the path ahead would be difficult, but he also knew that Taran's trust was a gift he could not waste. Together, he and Lysira began to repair the systems at the outpost. Aaron used his engineering skills, while Lysira provided guidance based on centuries of Lumary knowledge. As they worked, Aaron noticed something remarkable. The technology Taran had left was designed to be intuitive. It responded to thought, intention, and collaboration. When he and Lysira touched the controls together, systems came to life smoothly. Lights glowed, energy flowed, and holograms activated. It was as if the outpost had been waiting for them to return. Hours turned into days as they restored the central hub. Aaron learned more about the Lumary than he ever had imagined. He saw how Taran had combined human creativity with Lumary wisdom to create solutions that were elegant, efficient, and peaceful. He understood why Taran believed humans could help guide the future of the galaxy. By the end of the restoration, the outpost was alive again. Communication links to other lost colonies were re-established, though most remained dormant, waiting for further activation. Aaron and Lysira knew that their journey had only just begun, but they felt a deep sense of accomplishment. They had taken the first step in fulfilling Taran's vision. As they prepared to leave, Aaron looked out at the barren planet. The scars of the past were still visible, but the lights of the restored outpost shone brightly. He felt a sense of hope. This was more than a mission. It was a chance to bring life, knowledge, and peace back to forgotten worlds. Lysira stood beside him, her calm presence reassuring. Taran believed that one day humans and Lumary would walk this path together, she said. He believed that trust could create something greater than any one species could achieve alone. And now, that trust is in your hands. Aaron felt the weight of responsibility again, but it no longer felt heavy. It felt right. He was ready to continue the journey, to explore other outposts, to restore the Lumary network, and to protect Lysira as Taran had requested. The starship lifted off the surface, its engines glowing softly as it ascended into the dark sky. Aaron looked at the stars ahead and felt a sense of purpose he had never felt before. The galaxy was vast, full of challenges and mysteries, but he knew that with knowledge, courage, and friendship, they could create a future filled with hope. As they set a course for the next colony, Aaron understood something important. Taran had left him more than a fortune or a home. He had left him a legacy, a responsibility, and a chance to make a difference in the galaxy. And for the first time, Aaron felt ready to embrace it fully. The journey to restore the lost Lumary colonies had begun, and the galaxy awaited the courage of a human guided by the wisdom of an alien friend. Aaron Hale and Lysira continued their journey for the galaxy in Taran's crystal-powered starship. Their first mission to restore the abandoned Lumary outpost had been successful, But Aaron knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, and the lost colonies were scattered across thousands of light years. Each world held its own challenges, its own secrets, and possibly dangers. Lysira guided the ship toward a hidden region of the Lumary home system. The coordinates led to a remote valley beneath Taran's estate, a place few had ever seen. "This is a vault," Lysira explained. Taran created it to store knowledge and tools too important to leave unprotected. Only the person he trusted most, his chosen heir, could access it. Aaron felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. He had faced difficult engineering tasks before, but nothing compared to opening a vault built by a species that had lived for thousands of cycles. The vault was not just a room. It was a safeguard, a puzzle, and a treasure trove of history all in one. When they arrived, a massive door of polished crystal blocked their path. Intricate symbols glowed softly along its surface. Lysira handed Aaron a small device, the key Taran had left. Aaron placed the device against the door. It vibrated and pulsed with light. Slowly, with a soft hum that echoed in the valley, the door slid open. Inside, the vault was larger than Aaron had imagined. Tall shelves of crystal containers rose to the ceiling, each holding holographic records, maps, and ancient Lumary artifacts. Soft light illuminated the room, creating a quiet glow that made everything feel sacred. Aaron stepped inside, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing on him. Lysira moved beside him. "Taran left messages here for you," she said. "He wanted you to understand our history and to prepare for the challenges ahead. Everything you need is in this vault, but you must approach it with respect and care." Aaron activated the first record. A hologram of Taran appeared, his face gentle but serious. "Aaron," Taran said, "if you are seeing this, it means you have passed the first tests. The vault contains knowledge that our people have protected for centuries. You are entrusted not for power or gain, but because I believe you can do what is right. You must protect Lysira, restore our network, and use this knowledge wisely." Aaron listened closely. The hologram continued, explaining that the Lumary had once maintained a vast network of colonies across the galaxy. These colonies shared knowledge, culture, and technology, creating peace and prosperity. But when the core thing invaded centuries ago, the Lumary were forced to retreat and abandon many outposts. The network had remained dormant since then, waiting for someone to reactivate it. As Aaron absorbed the information, he realized the magnitude of Taran's trust. Humans were not Lumary. They did not live for thousands of cycles or possess the same history and knowledge. Yet Taran believed a human could bridge the gap, restore the network, and inspire trust among different species. Aaron felt both humbled and determined. Lysira guided him deeper into the vault. "Here are the star charts," she said, "and here are devices that can restore energy and communication systems on lost colonies. Taran designed everything to respond to intent and collaboration. You and I can operate them together. Alone, they may not work as effectively." Aaron studied the technology with fascination. The devices were elegant and simple in design, yet incredibly powerful. Holographic screens displayed maps of distant star systems, routes of ancient trade and communication, and even environmental data from abandoned planets. Every piece of information was interconnected, forming a web of knowledge that had been dormant for centuries. Suddenly, an alert flashed on one of the consoles. Aaron looked closer and realized it was a warning. The core thing had noticed unusual activity in the sector. They had likely detected the reactivation of the first outpost. Lysira's expression remained calm, but Aaron could sense her concern. "We must be careful," she said. "The core thing will try to claim our technology if they find it. They see knowledge as power, not as a tool for peace." Aaron nodded. He understood that the journey ahead would be more dangerous than he had imagined. The core thing were not enemies he could avoid forever. If they discovered the network too early, it could lead to conflict. He would need strategy, discretion, and quick thinking to stay ahead. Lysira handed Aaron a device that resembled a small crystal tablet. "This contains encrypted instructions for the first colonies we will reactivate," she said. "Taran trusted you to make decisions, but these instructions will guide you safely. Study them carefully." Aaron spent hours reviewing the data. He learned how to restore power, activate communication networks, and repair environmental systems. He realized that each colony had unique challenges. Some planets had harsh climates. Others had unstable energy cores. The technology Taran had left was advanced, but it required careful operation and planning. As they worked, Aaron felt a deep connection to his friend. Taran had prepared everything for this moment. He had trusted Aaron to carry forward a mission that could change a galaxy. Every crystal, every record, and every hologram was a message of faith in human potential. Aaron understood that Taran had not just left him tools. He had left him hope. By the end of the day, Aaron and Lysira had catalogued much of the vault's contents. They had begun planning the next steps in their journey. The first colonies would be their immediate focus, but the larger network would require time, patience, and courage. Aaron realized that Taran's final wish was not just about restoring technology. It was about restoring a vision of cooperation and trust among species. As they prepared to leave the vault, Aaron looked around one last time. The room was filled with centuries of wisdom, yet it felt alive, ready for action. He felt a sense of responsibility, but also a sense of purpose. This was a mission Taran had entrusted to him, and he would honor it fully. Lysira smiled at him. "The core thing may challenge us, and the journey will not be easy," she said. "But Taran believed in you, and so do I. Together, we will restore what has been lost." Aaron felt a surge of determination. The hidden vault was not just a place of secrets. It was a foundation for the future. With Lysira by his side, he would navigate the challenges ahead, protect the knowledge of the Lumary, and carry forward the dream of his friend. The starship lifted off in the valley as the light of the distant sun reflected on the crystal hull. Aaron looked out into the endless galaxy. Each star was a potential colony, a challenge, and an opportunity. He felt ready to face whatever lay ahead, guided by trust, knowledge, and the memory of a friend who had believed in him until the very end. The journey to restore the Lumary legacy was only beginning, and Aaron knew that the choices he made next would shape not just his destiny, but the future of many worlds. Aaron Hale and Lysira continued their journey through the galaxy, guided by Taran's maps and the knowledge in the hidden vault. The starship moved silently between stars, its crystal engines glowing softly. Aaron had grown more confident in operating the advanced Lumary technology, and Lysira's calm guidance made every task smoother. They were beginning to understand the scale of Taran's vision, but Aaron also knew that challenges were coming. The first signs of trouble appeared while they approached a distant sector near a cluster of abandoned Lumary colonies. Aaron was monitoring the ship's sensors when he noticed faint traces of Kothing activity. "Lysira, I think we have company," he said. The ship's consoles displayed a small fleet moving through the sector, approaching with careful precision. Lysira's eyes narrowed. "The Kothing are aware of our activity. They may not know the full extent of what we possess, but they are watching. We must be cautious." Aaron nodded. He realized that the restoration of the colonies was not just a technical mission. It had political consequences. The Kothing saw themselves as guardians of power in this part of the galaxy, and any attempt to revive the Lumary network could be seen as a threat. They continued toward the nearest colony, a world called Zythera, which had once been a hub of knowledge and learning. The planet was partially covered in mist and strange, crystalline forests. Its surface was dotted with remnants of old buildings, most of them damaged but still standing. Aaron could feel the weight of history pressing down. These colonies had been abandoned for centuries, and now he had the chance to breathe life back into them. Lysira guided him to the central hub of Zythera. "This hub will connect the other colonies once it is restored," she explained. "Taran left detailed instructions here. Follow them carefully." Aaron began activating the systems, using his engineering skills and the instruction from Taran's vault. Slowly, lights came on, and the hum of energy filled the air. Holographic maps appeared, showing the network of colonies waiting to be restored. Aaron felt a thrill of accomplishment. They were making progress, and Taran's vision was coming to life. Suddenly, the sensors detected movement. Small Kothing drones were approaching the planet, scanning for activity. Aaron and Lysira realized that the Kothing were closer than they had anticipated. If the drones discovered the restored hub, it could attract a larger fleet and create conflict. "We need to finish the restoration before they detect us," Lysira said. "Taran designed the systems to be activated quickly, but we must stay alert." Aaron focused on the task, following Taran's precise instructions. Energy conduits were repaired, communication links activated, and the central hub hummed with life. The planet began to glow softly, signaling that it was once again part of the Lumary network. Aaron felt a sense of pride. He and Lysera had succeeded, but the core thing presence reminded him that the mission was far from safe. As the drones closed in, Aaron activated a defensive measure built into the hub. A soft energy field surrounded the area, invisible to the naked eye but enough to prevent the drone from detecting the systems. The core thing drones scanned the surface, but their sensors returned no information. Aaron exhaled slowly, feeling the tension leave his body. Lysera placed a hand on his shoulder. "Well done," she said. "You have proven that humans can carry out Taran's vision. But we must remain vigilant. The core thing will continue to watch, and they may attempt more direct action in the future." Aaron nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility again. The core thing were clever and patient, but he believed that knowledge, careful planning, and trust could keep them one step ahead. He knew that the restoration of the Lumary network was not just about technology. It was about diplomacy, strategy, and courage. After ensuring that Zythera was fully operational, Aaron and Lysera set a course for the next colony. As they traveled, Lysera explained more about the political tensions in the galaxy. Many species had relied on the Lumary for guidance and support, but centuries of absence had left gaps. Some groups were friendly, some neutral, and some aligned with the core thing. Aaron realized that his journey would require more than technical skill. He would need to navigate complex relationships and gain trust across different worlds. During the flight, Aaron reflected on Taran's guidance. His friend had trusted him not just to restore the network, but to lead it carefully. Humans were often underestimated in the galaxy, but Taran had seen potential in Aaron. That trust inspired him. He knew that every decision he made now would affect not only Lysera and the Lumary, but also the lives of countless beings across the galaxy. As they approached the next system, Aaron and Lysera received a transmission. It was from a small Lumary colony that had remained hidden and untouched by the core thing. The colony's leader expressed gratitude for the restoration efforts and offered assistance. Aaron felt a surge of hope. Taran's vision was beginning to take shape. The network of colonies was not just a memory. It was becoming a living, breathing reality again. However, the transmission also carried a warning. The core thing had begun mobilizing fleets in nearby sectors. They were aware that someone was reactivating the network and were preparing to intervene. Aaron realized that the journey ahead would not be easy. He and Lysera would face challenges, obstacles, and possibly confrontation. But he also understood that the mission was too important to abandon. Lysera placed a hand on the navigation console. "We will face them together," she said. "Taran believed in you, and I do as well. The galaxy needs this network. We cannot turn back now." Aaron felt a deep sense of determination. The core thing might be watching, but they would not stop him. He had knowledge, courage, and a friend by his side. Taran's vision would continue. The lost colonies would rise again, and hope would spread across the galaxy. As the starship entered the next system, Aaron looked out at the stars. Each light represented a potential colony, a challenge, and an opportunity. He knew that the core thing threat was real, but he also knew that knowledge, trust, and action could overcome fear. The journey to restore the Lumary network was becoming more dangerous, but it was also more meaningful than ever. Aaron and Lysera prepared for the next step in their mission, ready to face whatever the galaxy would present. The restoration of the Lumary legacy had begun, and no force could stop the determination of a human guided by friendship, knowledge, and hope. Aaron Hale and Lysera traveled deeper into the galaxy, moving from one abandoned colony to the next. Each planet was a challenge in its own way. Some had harsh climates that made landing difficult. Others had systems damaged by time and neglect. Yet with every successful restoration, the Lumary network grew stronger, and Aaron felt more confident in his role. The starship's crystal engines glowed softly as they approached the next colony, a world named Virilia. Its surface was covered in forests of tall, crystal-like trees, shimmering under the light of its twin suns. When Aaron first saw it, he felt awe and excitement. The beauty of the planet reminded him why Taran had worked so hard to preserve these worlds. Lysera guided Aaron to the central hub, explaining that Virilia had been a research and learning center. Its laboratories once held archives of natural sciences, medicine, and engineering. "This colony will be important," Lysera said. "It contains knowledge that can help all other colonies once it is restored." Taran left instructions specifically for this one. Aaron began activating the systems. Power conduits needed repair, Energy nodes had to be realigned and communication networks re-established. He worked carefully, following Taran's instructions while using his human intuition to solve unexpected problems. Lysira assisted him, explaining the Lumary technology and guiding him through subtle details that only a native could notice. Hours into the restoration, Aaron noticed unusual readings on the sensors. Small Korthing patrol ships had appeared near the system. Their movement was cautious, but it was clear that they were observing the colony. Aaron felt a twinge of fear, but he also felt determination. He and Lysira had come too far to stop now. "We must finish the restoration before they discover us," Lysira said. "Taran designed the systems to be reactivated quickly, but we must remain hidden until the process is complete." Aaron nodded. He focused on the task at hand, using all his skills. Slowly, energy began to flow through the hub. Lights glowed across the colony, signaling that the systems were active. Holographic interfaces appeared, showing data from centuries ago. The planet's heart had begun to beat again. The Korthing patrol ships moved closer, scanning the area. Aaron knew that any detection could bring a larger fleet. He quickly activated the defensive measures integrated into the hub. A soft energy field surrounded the central systems, invisible to the Korthing sensors but strong enough to protect the colony's core. The patrol ships passed by without noticing anything. Lysira smiled, her calm presence reassuring. "Well done, Aaron," she said. "You have proven that humans can carry out Taran's vision. But we must be careful. The Korthing will continue to watch, and they may attempt a direct challenge in the future." Aaron felt the weight of responsibility once again, but it no longer felt heavy. He had learned that preparation, knowledge, and trust could overcome fear. Taran had given him more than tools. He had given him confidence and purpose. After ensuring that Virelia was fully operational, Aaron and Lysira reviewed the next steps. The following colonies were more distant, some on planets with extreme conditions. They needed to plan carefully, considering travel routes, energy requirements, and potential Korthing interference. Each decision was critical, and mistakes could have consequences for the entire network. During their planning, a small Lumary delegation arrived via shuttle. They had heard of Aaron's efforts and offered their assistance. Aaron realized that Taran's vision was inspiring others. The human had become a symbol of hope, someone who could restore what had been lost. He felt a deep sense of pride and responsibility. Lysira introduced Aaron to the delegation, explaining the challenges and the importance of collaboration. Taran believed that humans and Lumary together could achieve what neither could alone, she said. Aaron has proven this is possible. Aaron worked with the delegation to enhance the security systems and improve efficiency in the restored colonies. They installed communication relays, repaired energy nodes, and optimized transportation routes. Each successful adjustment strengthened the network and increased their chances of avoiding Korthing attention. Despite their successes, Aaron knew the threat of the Korthing was growing. Patrols were becoming more frequent, and some sectors had already reported sightings of larger fleets. Aaron and Lysira had to act quickly and wisely to stay ahead. They began implementing strategies to restore colonies discreetly, activating systems only when they were confident of safety. During a quiet moment, Aaron reflected on Taran's guidance. His friend had left detailed instructions, but he had also left faith in human intuition. Aaron realized that his role was not only to follow directions, but to think creatively, make decisions, and adapt to new challenges. That insight gave him confidence. He was not just a caretaker. He was a leader. As the starship traveled toward the next colony, Aaron and Lysira discussed their long-term goals. They planned a route that would allow them to restore multiple colonies while minimizing risk. They also prepared contingency plans in case the Korthing attempted to intercept them. Each discussion brought new ideas, and Aaron felt a growing sense of partnership with Lysira and the Lumary delegation. By the time they arrived at the next system, Aaron was ready for any challenge. He had learned to trust his instincts, rely on his skills, and collaborate effectively. The restored colonies were already sending data back through the network, and he could see the growing impact of their work. Knowledge was spreading, communication was improving, and hope was returning to the Lumary people. As the starship descended toward the next planet, Aaron felt a surge of determination. The Korthing threat was real, but he knew that courage, strategy, and cooperation could overcome it. He thought of Taran, of the trust placed in him, and of the responsibility to protect Lysira and the network. The journey was dangerous, but it was also meaningful. Aaron looked out at the stars, seeing the potential for growth, restoration, and unity. The galaxy was vast, full of challenges and opportunities, but he was ready to face them all. With Lysira by his side, with the knowledge of the Vault, and with the trust of a friend who had believed in him, Aaron knew that the Lumary legacy could be restored. The journey to restore the Lumary network continued, and each colony they reactivated brought them closer to a future of hope, cooperation, and the fulfillment of a vision that spanned centuries. Aaron Hale and Lysira continued their mission, moving from colony to colony across the galaxy. Each restored world was a success, but the looming threat of the core thing remained. Aaron had grown more confident in operating Lumary technology, navigating politics, and leading a small team of Lumary allies. With each challenge, he became more than a human visitor. He became a bridge between species, a symbol of hope in a galaxy that had long forgotten peace. Their next destination was Aurelia, a colony known for its advanced research in energy systems. The planet's surface glowed faintly with crystalline formations, creating a serene, almost magical landscape. Aaron felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as they approached. The core thing patrols were increasing in number, and he knew this colony might be their most difficult yet. Lysira guided him to the central hub. "This colony is vital," she said. "Its energy system can power multiple colonies and stabilize communication networks. If we restore it successfully, the network will gain strength. But the core thing may try to intervene." Aaron began the restoration process, carefully following Taran's instructions. Energy conduits needed realignment, communication links had to be restored, and protective measures installed. Lysira assisted him, her calm presence steadying him when the systems became complicated. The two worked together seamlessly, a human and a Lumary partner combining their strengths. As they restored the hub, the sensors detected core thing activity nearby. A fleet was moving toward Aurelia, larger than any they had seen before. Aaron realized that the core thing had finally discovered the reactivation of the network. The challenge ahead was no longer just technical, it was strategic. They would need to protect the colony while completing the restoration. Lysira moved to the console. "We cannot engage them directly," she said. "Taran designed the systems to be protected by energy fields and stealth measures. We must use them wisely." Aaron activated the defensive protocols. A shimmering energy shield rose around the hub, invisible to core thing sensors. The fleet scanned the planet, but the protective measures prevented detection. Aaron felt a surge of relief, though he knew the danger was far from over. The restoration continued. Holographic interfaces flickered to life, displaying centuries of Lumary knowledge. Aaron marveled at the complexity and elegance of the systems. He realized that Taran had not just left technology, he had left wisdom. Every system, every crystal, and every record carried lessons about collaboration, patience, and understanding. Hours later, the hub was fully operational. Aurelia sent a signal to other colonies, stabilizing the network. Aaron felt a sense of accomplishment. They had restored one of the most important colonies, despite the core thing threat. But he knew that the fleet was still nearby, and he had to plan carefully to protect the network from further interference. Lysira reviewed the data. "The core thing fleet may attempt to block our next mission," she said. "We need to move quickly, restore the remaining colonies, and strengthen the network before they act." Aaron nodded. He understood the urgency. Time was critical, and every decision mattered. He plotted a route that would allow them to restore multiple colonies efficiently while minimizing the risk of detection. Lysira assisted with the calculations, and together they prepared for the next phase of the mission. During the journey, Aaron reflected on the lessons he had learned. Trust, courage, and collaboration were as important as technical skill. He had grown in ways he had never imagined, becoming a leader and a protector. The human perspective, Taran had believed, could complement the wisdom of the Lumary, and Aaron had begun to see why. As they approached the final colonies, the core thing fleet moved closer. Aaron realized that they could no longer avoid confrontation. The core thing saw the restoration of the network as a threat to their control. Aaron and Lysira prepared for a delicate balance of diplomacy and strategy. They would need to demonstrate that the network was not a weapon but a force for knowledge, peace, and cooperation. When they arrived near the last colony, the core thing fleet transmitted a message. Aaron activated the communication system. The Korthing commander's voice was cold and cautious. Human, you are interfering in a sector under Korthing oversight. Cease all activity immediately. Aaron took a deep breath. We are restoring knowledge and cooperation across the galaxy, he said. This network is not a weapon. It is a tool for peace, for learning, and for all species. Tar entrusted me to continue this mission, and I will do so. There was a long pause. Then the commander replied, We will observe. Any aggressive actions will be met with force. Aaron nodded, understanding the tension, but also sensing that the Korthing could be reasoned with. His calm and firm words reflected the integrity and courage Taran had believed humans could bring. The final restoration began. Aaron and Lysira moved swiftly, activating systems across the lost colonies. Energy conduits hummed, communication networks blinked to life, and holographic data flowed through the network. The Lumary legacy was being reborn. The Korthing fleet remained nearby, scanning, but Aaron's careful strategy and the stealth measures ensured they did not detect the full extent of the network's restoration. The colonies began communicating with each other, sharing knowledge and resources. Aaron watched the holographic interface as the network lit up, connecting hundreds of worlds for the first time in centuries. When the final colony was restored, Aaron felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Taran's vision was complete. The Lumary network was alive again, stronger than ever, and humans had proven their ability to contribute in ways others had never imagined. Lysira turned to Aaron, her expression proud. You have done it, she said. Taran's dream is reality, thanks to your courage, skill, and heart. The galaxy will remember this. Aaron looked out at the stars, feeling the presence of his friend. Taran had trusted him, guided him, and believed in the potential of a human to make a difference. Now that trust had been honored, the restored colonies would flourish, knowledge would spread, and cooperation between species would grow. As the starship traveled back toward the Lumary homeworld, Aaron reflected on the journey. The mission had been difficult and full of challenges, but it had also been transformative. He had learned to combine human creativity with Lumary wisdom, navigate threats, and lead with integrity. The legacy left by an alien friend had become a personal mission, one that would continue to inspire generations. Aaron realized that the galaxy had changed. Species that had been isolated for centuries were now connected. Knowledge was accessible, and hope had been restored. The Korthing threat still existed, but Aaron had shown that courage, trust, and collaboration could overcome fear and suspicion. Lysira smiled beside him. The journey may continue, she said, but the foundation is secure. Taran's vision is safe, thanks to you. Aaron nodded. He understood that this was only the beginning of a larger responsibility, but he felt ready. With the lessons learned, the friendships forged, and the network restored, he knew that he could face whatever challenges lay ahead. The galaxy, once fractured and silent, now held the promise of knowledge, unity, and hope.